Welcome back friends, and if you are new to our channel, thank you for stopping by. Today I have a very easy pattern, and it can be the first pattern for beginners who are into knitting. So this pattern can be done in a multiple of 4 stitches plus 2. So I have already cast 22 stitches to save time. That is 20 stitches, which is in the multiple of 4 plus 2 extra stitch. That is it. Now let us straight away start off with our pattern. Now the first stitch, actually it's the edge stitch, but still I am knitting it, so that is 2 number of knit and 2 number of purl. The actual pattern starts from the point where I did the 2 number of purl. Now I am going to do 2 number of knit again, yarn forward, again 2 number of purl. So this is the sequence for this very first row. 2 number of knit, 2 number of purl, again 2 number of knit and 2 number of purl. This is very easy, and if you friends are into knitting and you want to knit your very first design or pattern, then this is the pattern you must be looking for. So the last 2 stitches is going to be a knit. Let's move on to the second row. Turning our work, the first stitch is the edge stitch, which I am going to do a purl, or we can just slip it out. After that we are going to work as per our pattern demands. That is, the first 2 stitch was a purl and then 2 stitch followed by knit. Now we'll just look into the pattern. If it is a purl, we are going to do a purl. If it is a knit, then we are going to do 2 number of knit. Yarn forward, 2 number of purl, yarn backwards, 2 number of knit, again yarn forward, 2 number of purl, yarn backwards, 2 number of knit. For this pattern I am using the scrap yarn which I had, and the needle size is number 9. It is very easy pattern and it looks good too. Now the last 2 stitches is going to be a purl as per the pattern. So our second row is complete. Now let's move on to the third row. Here the very first edge stitch, I am going to slip it out and then I am going to do a purl. Then yarn backwards, 2 number of knit, yarn forward, 2 number of purl, yarn backwards, 2 number of knit. Now if you notice here in the third step, we are doing the knit on top of the purl, and we are working a purl, 2 number of purl on top of the knit stitches. That means the pattern has alternated. That is, in place of knit we are doing a purl, and in place of purl we are doing a knit. So here I am close to the end and the last 2 stitches should be a purl, but I am going to work 1 purl, and the last stitch, which is the edge stitch, I am going to do a knit so that I get a straight edge for stitching my project. Now the fourth row, the first edge stitch I am going to purl, then I am going to turn my yarn and do a knit, yarn forward, working 2 number of purl. Look at that tail disturbing me again and again. Now again 2 number of knit, again 2 number of purl. So this is the sequence that we need to follow in our fourth row, and this also completes our pattern. Now again yarn forward, 2 number of purl, yarn backwards, 2 number of knit, yarn forward, 2 stitches is going to be a purl, yarn backwards. The last 2 stitches should be a knit, but I am going to work only 1 knit, and the edge stitch I am going to do a purl so that I get straight edge in the ends. Now let's repeat the pattern again so that it becomes easier for the freshers. The 2 number of stitch is a knit, and then 2 number of purl. Again 2 number of stitch is a knit, then yarn forward, 2 number of purl. Now if you notice, if you look at the pattern carefully, you will see that we are working 2 number of knit on top of 2 number of previous purls, and 2 number of purls on top of previous knit. That is, the pattern is changing again. So this is 2 number of purl and then 2 number of knit. Again yarn forward, 2 number of purl, yarn backwards. Now 2 number of knit, 1 and 2. So our first row is complete. Now moving on to the second row, the first 2 stitches is going to be a purl as per the pattern. Then turning our yarn, we are going to work 2 number of knit, 1 and 2, yarn forward, 2 number of purl, 1 and 2, yarn backwards, 2 number of knit, 1 and 2, yarn forward, 2 number of purl, yarn backwards, 2 number of knit. This is the sequence we will follow for this row. And here I am close to the end of the row. Here I am working 2 number of knit, yarn forward, and 2 number of purl straight away. So our second row is complete. Let us move on to the third row. The pattern is going to alternate. Here we are supposed to do 2 number of purl, but as I am working in the edge, I did 1 knit and 1 purl, followed by 2 number of knit and again 2 number of purl. Now again 2 number of knit on top of 2 number of purl, previous purl, and 2 number of purl on top of the previous knit stitches. Yarn forward, I'll be working 2 number of purl, yarn backwards, 2 number of knit on top of the previously purled stitches. Here the stitch is, the pattern is alternating again. That is, the stitch where it was a purl we are doing a knit, and where it is a knit we are doing a purl. Now the last 2 stitches are supposed to be a purl, but I do 1 purl and then I do a knit so that the edge stitch is straight, and it will be convenient for us to stitch the projects. Now I slip 1 stitch and I did a knit, followed by 2 number of purl, yarn backwards, 2 number of knit, yarn forward, 2 number of purl. That is the sequence we will be following in this particular row. Friends, do communicate and share your views regarding the type of patterns you would like to see in future. It will be great communicating with one another and supporting one another. So that's 2 number of knit, yarn forward, 2 number of purl. Now yarn backwards, I'm going to work 1 knit, and the last stitch I'm not going to knit, so I bring my yarn forward and do a purl. as that is the edge stitch. Now because of the poor lighting, my pattern is not showing up so much, but if you work this pattern you will see how pretty this easy pattern looks. And as I always say, friends, do not forget to share, subscribe and comment to hit the like button if you have found the video interesting and useful. If you are new to our channel, do take a moment to subscribe and stay tuned for more of interesting videos in future. So till we meet again, it is bye bye for today.